Hi there, Kerry here again, and here is a quick and nasty acquisitions video. Well, not quite as nasty. I'm not doing it on the webcam this time, just doing it on the regular phone camera. It is Sunday the 29th of August 2021. The level 4 lockdown due to COVID continues here in New Zealand. We are, this part of the country at least, are getting out of it hopefully on Wednesday morning. But we're just going to level 3, which is pretty much the same thing except that you can now buy and pick up food from food outlets. Hoping that it will go down again before the next weekend, but I don't think the chances are good. Every day when the case numbers come out, I'm hoping for them to start going down again, but they have just kept rising. Not extremely large numbers, but the trend still seems to be upwards. So hopefully things will turn the other way in the next couple of days, but who knows? We're dealing with the Delta variant of COVID now, and it seems to be all bets are off with that. So anyway, I've had another exciting working week, working with what can I say? The attempt to contain COVID, and people out there are getting a little crazy during the lockdown, and I'm taking a lot of weird calls. So just keep it together out there, please. Anyway, acquisitions. So Friday, got home and there were 6 books waiting for me. All had arrived from the book depository. Now this was my splurge that I did a couple of weeks ago when they first gave me a 10% off code. So this is probably going to be the last splurge for a while on books anyway. I'm hoping to upgrade some computer equipment in the very near future, and that's where all my money will be going in the near term. Anyway, without further ado, now this one is A Master of Gin by P. Geely Clark. Now, this is the book I'm actually reading at the moment on the Kindle, but I thought I'd buy a hard copy of it, just to give the author some money, basically. I don't think they get much from the Kindle versions. So it's set in his Cairo 1912 alternate world, where magic and jinns and angels and what have you are part of the day, and Egypt has become a superpower because of this. And this is all the stories are, except for one in this universe so far, have been like police procedural type things. Deals with the agents of the Ministry of Alchemy, etc., who deal with crimes which involve magic and the supernatural. Now I'm about 40% of the way through this, and it's pretty good. It's just an enjoyable romp, basically, with a world which you can kind of recognise, but a lot of things have changed, and it's just fun seeing what he pulls out of his hat to build the world further and expand things. Between the novellas and short stories he did in this world are very focused and economical. In the novel, he gets to play a little more in his toy box and gives us a little more depth and character growth. So that's Master of Gin. I recommend it so far. Hopefully I'll have a review up of it soon. I keep saying that, I know, but things keep getting in the way. Another police procedural is A Deadly Divide. Now this is the 5th novel in the series, the Rachel Getty and Etta Katak series. I've read the first 2, own the next 2, and this one's just arrived. So I've got the whole set. I'm not sure if they're going to be writing anymore in this universe. So they're basically police procedurals, and the twist is that Etta Katak is a Pakistani gentleman who's firm in his Muslim faith, and Rachel Getty is like an Anglo-Canadian. So she's in a voyage of discovery. Most of the crimes they investigate involve issues involving the Muslim community in Canada, or wherever else they're sent to investigate. And the books are kind of didactic in a good way. They let you in on the issues and the history of the Muslim community, things like the Bosnia War and terrorism and all that type of thing are dealt with in a really reasonable way, and they're interesting and exciting police thrillers at the same time. So that's A Deadly Divide by Uzma Zanat Khan. Next up we have Dangerous Visions, as edited by Harlan Ellison. Now this is a well-known and seminal anthology that came out in the late 60s, I think 1967 in this case, and really ushered in the new wave of science fiction that spread throughout the world in the 1970s, and kind of highlighted some authors which were a little neglected at the time, and really helped their careers. And so this definitely isn't a new book, it's a sci-fi masterworks version, so it's got about 3 or 4 different introductions that have been included in the text over the years. And there are a couple more Dangerous Visions anthologies after this one, and I've got one of them on Kindle, I think, again, Dangerous Visions. And I know the last Dangerous Visions, which has been unpublished for years, was promised by Harlan Ellison in the mid-70s. I think it's actually coming out this year or next year finally, so there'll be another one to grab. Next up, News and How to Use It by Alan Rusbridger. Now, Rusbridger was the editor of the Guardian newspaper for quite a while, and since he stepped down from that, he's been writing books. His first one was about his attempts to learn to play a complicated piano piece with the background of his final days at the Guardian. After that, he put out another one, Breaking the News. It's about the news business and behind the scenes. And this one is News and How to Use It. It's like a little glossary, kind of like a user's guide to terminology and subjects and things that are covered in the news and how you should treat them. And it's a little snarky, a little sarcastic as well. So that'll be interesting to read. That's one for the TBR, of course. And next up, Granville Integrale, and this is the collected version of all Brian Talbot's Granville graphic novels. They're set in a steampunk kind of neo-Victorian world where people are actually anthropologically, I'm trying to think of the right word, you know, they're all like talking animals. They're human size, but they've got animal features, animal heads. And Granville is a badger who's a detective, and it's just a police procedural yet again, but set in a kind of steampunk world where everyone's animals. This is like the collector's edition of books that have come out over the years. Looks like it's been computer coloured, which I'm not sure if the originals were. It looks a little different. You know, I've never actually read a whole one of these, but Brian Talbot is a stalwart of the British comics industry, and I have read books by him in the past. The last one I can remember reading was Alice in Sunderland, that may have been over a decade ago, where he kind of connected all sorts of historical events in England with a certain geographical area, and things like Alice in Wonderland were written there, and various historical events happened in the same kind of region. So he did a good job of convincing you that the whole basically 19th and 20th century was centered around a certain geographical district. So he's quite a clever chap, and his artwork's pretty good as well. And lastly, Stainless Steel Rat Deluxe Edition. Now this collects the 3 adaptations of the Harry Harrison Stainless Steel Rat stories that the comic 2000 AD did in the late 70s and early 80s. Now I've only read parts of these before when I was collecting 2000 AD, and you never come across like 2 consecutive issues, so you'd always miss out bits. So I've been wanting to grab this for many years, and the original version of this was out of print, so they've put it back in print now, and this now includes the colour spreads, which were in the middle pages of the 2000 AD comic. 2000 AD was a passion of mine when I was about 10 to 15. It was really opened my eyes up to science fiction and speculative fiction and graphic comics and artwork. Something that's continued to this day, and likewise Harry Harrison's books were an eye-opener to me. It was kind of science fiction, speculative fiction, but with a deep vein of humour and sarcasm towards authority figures, and just a willingness to satirise what were tropes that were too common in the science fiction world. So both of them combined into this, Harry Harrison and 2000 AD. It's going to be a winning formula. So And of course, this also, all the art in this is done by Carlos Esquerra, the late great Carlos Esquerra, who art is very distinctive, and he's most famous for probably inventing the look and early world of Judge Dredd in the 2000 AD comics. Right, so that's all. I'm off to have my lunch now, so hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you again next time.